you please read the roll?
Marco T. Camacho.
Here.
Lynn Underwood Segley.
Here.
John F. Flores.
Here.
Catherine E. Leonard.
Here.
Justin S. McLaughlin.
Here.
G. Marie Napolitano.
Here.
Naomi Neville.
Here.
There's a quorum present, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Could I ask that all cell phones be turned off, and can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Has anyone signed up for Citizens Forum?
No, they have not.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the consent calendar in its entirety with the exceptions of items 7, I, and K. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Application for a special event license, Ocean Point.
Councilor Leonard.
I pulled this and asked the city solicitor if we had a policy in place in regard to the use of public properties, just so we could have a policy. And the answer was that we would be looking to do that. So I'm going to make a motion that this be approved, subject to details being worked out with administration.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Communication from Lily Dick, Newport Tree Parks and Open Space Steering Committee.
Yes, I believe Ms. Dick wants to address the council in public, please.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Lily Dick. I live in 662 Bellevue Avenue, Newport, Rhode Island, and I'm the president of the Newport Tree Society. And I just wanted to, as such, bring you up to date on an initiative that we have been working out with the city and with the state and with other organizations for trees, parks, and open space master planning. This project started in late 2013, and at the encouragement of one of the leading foundations here in Newport, for us to get together and really do a better job with our open space planning. On April 30th, 2014, the then city manager wrote to the Van Buren Charitable Foundation in support of a grant application that we had applied for. I won't read her whole letter, but I do want to quote one part of it. It says, "The development of a clear and inclusive civic process for decision-making regarding park uses and management, capital improvements, and development priorities will bring us into alignment with national best practices in open space resource management. We look forward to participating in a fully collaborative effort that will engage citizens and community organizations alike in planning a better future for our city." We have to date raised $200,000 for this initiative. We have another approximately $60,000 to raise, which is really a gift to the city of Newport, and we're very excited about that. I would like to just have Tina Dolan, the executive director of the Tree Society, fill you in on the exact details briefly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll just run through the key points of the project purpose, and the first is to create a groundbreaking master plan for the long-term sustainability and stewardship of Newport's public trees, open spaces, and parks. And secondly, to provide the city with a blueprint for a permanent policy to create meaningful public participation in planning for these trees, parks, and open spaces. And finally, the project partners and their consultants will also provide professional expertise to inform and support preparation of the city's 2016 Comprehensive Land Use Plan. And then the partnership that Lily alluded to has grown. It's very strong, and these are the working partners that I'm going to list, and I think you'll be happy to hear who is involved. Certainly we have Newport's Planning Department and Public Utility, Public Services Department, the Tree Warden. the Newport Tree and Open Space Commission, the Aquidneck Land Trust, the Aquidneck Island Planning Commission, although we're just waiting for the new director to get rolling, the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, the URI Coastal Resources Center Sea Grant, and the Newport Tree Society and Arboretum. So, and we have been working together. It's a dynamic group. We're excited about the plan, and it's going very well.
Thank you.
And lastly, I just want to bring you up to date that we have hired a consultant. They will be going out into the field and evaluating each of our parks and open space. So I wanted to let you and the public know that they will be seeing very low-key individuals from Sasaki, S-A-S-A-K-I, Sasaki Associates, a very well-known urban planning and design company. They will be out into the field, just as I say, evaluating our open space. So I want everyone to know that it will be happening. And also, we will be setting up forums on specific subjects and reaching out to the community, both to citizens and also to experts in the field. So it is getting going. We will definitely always keep you informed. Never hesitate to call us if you have any questions, or if any constituents says, who's that in the park, looking at it and writing down things. It's all good. It's all good. And we're thrilled, but we definitely will keep you up to date and hope that you will never hesitate to ask us any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the council?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I just
Councilor
wanted-
Neville.
to acknowledge the hard work and effort that's been going on for years now to get to this point. Willie Dick has been relentlessly enthusiastic about moving us forward on this, and I think she's got a really solid plan. So
Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
we will have a formal kickoff in the fall for the public, and we will inform you of that. So thank you.
You know, while you were talking, it strikes me, we're very blessed in Newport to have so many organizations, volunteers, and people willing to step forward and to help us out.
Yes.
Which we do need, so thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to receive communication from Newport Tree Parks and Open Space Committee.
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Communication from John Hirschbach, Daffodilian Project Director.
Yes, Councilor Leonard.
Thank you. I would like to ask John Hirschbeck to come up. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I ask that this be pulled. First of all, thank you for raising the funds, all of you, for the Daffodilian Project. It's really amazing. And to raise so many extra funds to be able to gift the city with this bulb planting machine that I know is over $11,000. So a question I had, just so the public would understand, that this gift is a machine that would plant bulbs, and it would be given to the city and also for the use of others who would like to use it, organizations, maybe other communities. And if so, is the intent to be able to charge a nominal fee since we would own it and maintain it?
Very much so. For the past 2 years, the Rhode Island Turnpike and Bridge Authority have planted with their own machinery, and they've expressed interest in joining us as well. They, in essence, have bought the bulbs from us, so they weren't donated to the Turnpike and Bridge. So those 30,000 bulbs, as you see it coming off the Pell Bridge, were actually their gift.
That's
And
nice.
so the thought might be for them to use this machinery so they could help us reach our million daffodil goal. But we've also talked to DEM, Rhode Island DEM, and DOT, and although they haven't given us any guarantees, they certainly have expressed interest, so we're hoping to approach them as well. And I think part of the quid pro quo would be either to buy bulbs or to help with the maintenance and ongoing operation of the machine.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
So I would like to make a motion to approve the acceptance of the gift and to thank everyone and have the details worked out with city administration.
Do I have a second? Motion and second, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you.
Public hearing, application for a secondhand license, Newport Bridge Antiques and Marketplace LLC.
And the location is 29B JT Connell Highway. Is there anyone here to address this secondhand license?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to close the public hearing and approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Application for a new vittling license, Surf Club LLC, DBA Surf Club, 337 Thames Street.
And this is also in conjunction with the liquor license transfer. I move passage.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Application for a new entertainment license, Surf Club LLC, DBA Surf Club, 337 Thames Street.
Okay, this is the entertainment license. It's new in conjunction also with the liquor license transfer. I move passage.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Appointments to boards and commissions.
We do not have any appointments to boards and commissions tonight. Thank you.
City Council update, sister city trip to Shimoda, Japan.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Can we just
Counsel.
delay this just a few items because we're waiting for one of the students to come.
Okay,
She's on
there's
her
a
way.
motion to delay.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next.
Communication from Erin Donovan Boyle, Newport County Chamber of Commerce regarding regional economic development.
Okay. This is a communication from the chamber. I believe we have some representatives here to address the issue. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Erin Donovan Boyle. I'm the new Executive Director of the Newport County Chamber of Commerce. Jody Sullivan, who you all know, is here with me this evening, and we'll be giving a brief presentation on the Regional Economic Development Initiative. I'll let Jody start off while I pass out some materials for you to review.
Madam Chair, make a motion to receive
There's a motion to receive second.
documentation.
Second.
Motion
Thank
and
you.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
So the information that you're being provided is just synopsis and information that you've received previously. So a few years ago, the Chamber went to the Rhode Island Foundation and received a $10,000 strategic planning grant to explore the feasibility and/or the need for a regional economic development initiative. We were successful in getting the $10,000 grant, and we used that grant to pull together representatives of all the municipalities in Newport County, as well as Bristol, and nonprofits and for-profits. And we met a few times to talk about, is there a need? Is it feasible? What would it do to create an organization or an initiative that represented all of our communities as one? And so we used the information that we gleaned from that retreat to actually put a formal application into the Van Buren Foundation, and we were successful in receiving that grant last year. So we had a matching grant from the Van Buren Foundation, and we had fiscal commitments, monetary commitments from Newport, Middletown, Portsmouth, Tiverton, and Bristol. And so based on the amount of money that all of you pledged, the Van Buren Foundation pledged $73,000. And so we spent the past year creating an RFP and going on a national search to hire consultants that were economic development experts and tell us what should we do, what would it look like, how should we do it. So for the past year, we've been meeting with, and I know that Mayor Napolitano and some of you have attended briefings from the TIP strategies, and they have produced a work plan for us to go into the next year of funding to actually create such an organization. I'm trying to think. So we are at the point now where we are going into the next phase. We have to seek follow-on funding for a year or two, and we're hoping that you will support the effort with the other municipalities. And I think that's kind of a recap going backwards, and I'm going to let Erin sort of talk about the vision going forward and sort of the monetary commitments in the second year of our effort.
So as you'll see in your packet and in the document provided from TIP Strategies, the overall vision of this Regional Economic Development Initiative is really that an individual and this organization will be the ambassador for businesses, both to retain, expand, and attract new businesses into the entire region. It will be the first point of contact for site selection, consultants, and business decision makers, and they'll promote the benefits of establishing, expanding, and relocating businesses in the region. This really will be a person who can help an individual or a business navigate the entire system. There's a number of different rules and regulations in different towns and municipalities that this person can help them navigate, as well as just speak to the benefits of locating your business and growing your business here in Newport County. So the funding for year 2, we have requested each municipality to contribute. We have an additional municipality involved in this year 2 funding, which is Jamestown. And you can look, Middletown has committed $25,000. Portsmouth, Tiverton, Bristol, and Jamestown have committed $5,000. The Van Buren Foundation has expressed extreme interest. We have an application with them. We're hopeful that it will be, again, the 2-to-1 match. That is the request. But they're certainly waiting for municipal contributions. And also, we will align those efforts with Commerce RI. We've had conversations, Jody has led those conversations with Stephen Pryor to get a commitment at least for the initiative and potentially some funding in that capacity as well. The planned activities for year 2 will consist of implementing the plan that you have in front of you. Primarily, that is hiring an individual whose sole purpose will be to work on economic development for the region. The 3 priorities identified are retention and expansion of existing businesses, working in conjunction with the state's efforts to address the commerce situation here in Rhode Island, and the business attraction program. We see some benefits of this initiative as, first of all, establishing economies of scale. A regional approach to economic development is increasingly critical in securing public sector dollars, private sector dollars, and foundation support. Leveraging that investment and support in future investments is extremely important. A regional approach is the way things are moving. A regional economic development strategy in which all the communities are committed and willing to participate just assists with the proactive and healthy business retention program that we're hopeful to move forward. Additionally, in Newport, this entity will assist in promoting the benefits of the development and activity taking place with the Innovate Newport program at the Sheffield School, as well as the North End development and so forth. Of course, the other municipalities as well. So this will be the one individual with a full-time position dedicated to focusing on economic development in the region. I hope that this helps to answer any of your questions, but certainly would be glad to answer some more.
Madam Chair? Councilor Leonard.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. And I would like to make a suggestion, if I may. I hear an awful lot of comments and from an awful lot of small businesses, and they would really relish the support of the chamber. And I personally feel that a lot of them have been here for a long time, and they've kind of feel somewhat excluded. So I really think it would be nice to take these smaller businesses that have been here for a long time and bring them in and offer to help them, because a lot of times the perception is that the chamber takes care of big businesses. So I think this is a really nice step forward, and I just would like to see that happen for those who are struggling and working to stay in a good position if they're there.
So just I appreciate that very much, and it was really refreshing to me that the first report back from the consultants were that the first priority for them was to individually reach out to the businesses that exist, because while people talk about recruitment all the time, we really need to grow and make healthy what we have here, and so that is the first priority listed in your report of that organization.
Yeah, and another thing I find, I'll tell you, is that a lot of small businesses in the past had looked to some enhancements and some benefits of the chamber, like their insurance, health insurance and things like that. And I think that since the chamber seems to be, moving along and trying to widen its range, that those are some things that we can look at, because that helps not only the businesses but their employees.
Absolutely, and I think you'll see that outlined in the study as well, that that's certainly a need that needs to be met.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilor Neville.
Just looking forward, you list out an annual expected budget of $378,000 to $493,000. Can you just summarize how you expect to raise that money moving forward?
So that's actually not this coming year. That's subsequent years at the full development of the organization. So in this first year, the hope is to sort of figure out legally the structure of the organization, and to put a body in place, like a person, to hire a person full-time to create the organization, to begin to promote the region and talk to business. And so the first year funding, we don't need that amount. What the consultants have said is, in subsequent years, it would be a 3-person organization, and that would be the budget in the future. The model for in perpetuity for funding is not to rely so heavily on municipalities. These organizations, and we will be personally speaking with successful models of these, is to not be so dependent on municipalities. They're public-private partnerships, not unlike the Sheffield. So we've already reached out to academia, we've reached out to local banks, we've reached out to foundations. So this will be, the eventual governing body of this will be representative of all the investors, but they won't be so heavily dependent on municipalities. And in a perfect situation, the goal would be, it would actually save municipalities, because you'd be all chipping in to have an expert representing your region instead of all having to do this on your own.
Madam Chair, just to
Yes,
follow up.
Councilor.
So if we're being requested last year for $20,000 and then this year for $20,000, are we going to then in perpetuity just keep giving $20,000? Is that the expectation, or?
You've been asked for 25 this year, everybody up to a
Okay, so 25. So what do you want in year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
So I honestly can't answer that, because we don't have the organization formed yet. We don't really know. I can say to you that we would most definitely look for some contribution, because we would be representing all the municipalities, but our goal would be that the expense to run it would be assumed by the private sector as well as the public sector.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
Is
Councilor.
there any existing or potential
Can you
synergy?
use the mic?
Oh, sorry. Is there any existing or potential synergy between this initiative and what Paul Carroll and his department are trying to achieve? And for that matter, is there any potential overlap with what their department's trying to do and what this initiative is trying to accomplish?
I think they are complementary. When we first began this process, Paul Carroll and Jane Harrington actually helped us write the proposal. And when Paul was hired, it was with the understanding between all of us that we would be working like this together. So I certainly think that Paul's efforts and vision for the city would mesh with ours, and we would be working for all of you. The thing that strikes me is Paul's awesome, and he's got an amazing vision for the city, but nobody gets up every day and all they do is talk to business, help businesses grow, look for new business. There's so much on everybody's plate that you want to do that, but you just do your regular job and you get your job done. The fact that we would have a person who gets up and lives and breathes promoting our region and talking to our businesses and understanding what they need just is an amazing possibility to me.
Okay, thank you. I think it's wonderful what you're trying to accomplish here. The region really needs it, and you're filling that gap. Thank you.
So we had Stephen Pryor, Commerce Secretary Pryor, was in our boardroom a couple times for presentations, and he actually said when he first came that he thought that regionalization of economic development was premature in Rhode Island, with the exception of our region. And so while they're deciding if they want to have their strategic plan be cluster-oriented or region-oriented, we're both. And we've made that point to Commerce Secretary Pryor, and they have pledged support at some level.
Can I ask about the funding? If in fact Newport were to be a part of this, it would be $70,000 from the communities. What is the match from Van Buren? If you were...
No, we don't know what the match from Van Buren will be.
Oh, okay.
Because we're in this phase two. What we do know is that they do not typically fund a second-year effort of this. This is the first economic development effort that Van Buren has funded. So on a personal level and on behalf of the Chamber, I feel a tremendous responsibility to make that successful. And they have encouraged us to come back. And they have sat with us, and they've looked over what we've submitted so far. They've given us suggestions on things to include before they take it to the full board. So you don't know what a fund, we can't certainly say with certainty, but they did ask us back to the table.
And the other thing that struck me was something that Councilor Leonard said about the smaller businesses and growing the chamber so that eventually, you know, it would be private money coming in. Is that part of, are you trying to recognize the fact that there's probably a lot of smaller businesses?
Well, I recognize we have 1,100 members. And
right.
Honestly, in Newport County, we don't have a lot of big businesses. We're all small businesses. We're all, you know, except maybe for the hospital or Raytheon, we don't have a lot of corporate presence like some chambers do. So we're all little businesses that band together. We definitely recognize the importance of small business, and that's why I was happy that this report says that's our first priority, is to go out. But I anticipate that, and honestly, to be honest with you, until we talk to the best practice places that have done this, I'm speaking a little out of my zone, but I would think that the municipalities would always be involved in some level, and whatever the organizational structure is that we create would have representatives from the municipalities on it, along with banks and universities and the people who are funding it. So I think there will be private funding and public funding in the future, and maybe philanthropic funding.
Madam Chair?
Thank you. Yes, Councilor Segley.
I just want to make this distinction that this is really separate from the Chamber of Commerce. This is a new initiative, correct?
Yes.
So whatever the Chamber is doing now is really irrelevant to what is going to happen with this program.
So candidly, we have money set aside now, the last of this year's money, to talk to lawyers and to figure out the structure of the organization, because we have to, I don't know how to say it. So this could be a threat to the Chamber of Commerce, really, because it's another organization. It's going to be looking for funding. It's going to be promoting business. But I feel strongly that it's something that's needed. So whatever we do to create this entity, we have to make sure that it dovetails with the Chamber so that we work in tandem and it doesn't ultimately hurt the Chamber, so that, you know, you're our biggest dues payers. So we don't want to be in a situation someday where, you know, all of a sudden the municipalities don't want to pay dues because they're investing in the economic development organization. So this is a very thoughtful in process for us, that we have to be careful about how we do it. But it's important, and so I think that we need to do it and just be careful about how we do it.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
sorry, one last
Councilor.
question. Can you explain to me how it's not redundant to the Chamber? How will it be different than the Chamber?
So the Chamber's a membership organization. We provide programs and services to members. We lobby at the state on behalf of business, legislation, pro or con, depending. We will certainly work to promote our region, our county, but we don't have business attraction programs. We don't, go and recruit. We don't go to trade shows across the country. We don't produce, collateral material and have a website that, site selectors, everything's online. We need a presence so when people go looking, they see our entire region. We don't do that. That's a much bigger thing than we do as a county membership organization.
Thank you.
I would just add, if a business from out of town were looking to come into the Newport County area, we now currently would give each of your planning department phone numbers of all of the different municipalities. And that can be cumbersome for the interested party, and also for your departments as well. So this would just try to help streamline that information from a purely informational piece, which is one of the easier things I think that this individual would be able to start off doing, and then it would grow into that attraction program as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ladies.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to receive the communication.
Second?
There's a motion and a second to receive the communication. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Second reading of an ordinance amending chapter...
Sorry, Madam Clerk. I believe we're going to number 6.
Communications and
Yes.
petitions.
We're gonna go back
Under
to number 6.
communications. Okay.
City Council update, city sister trip to Shimoda, Japan.
Yes,
Madam Chair.
Councilor Neville.
Thank you. We wanted to briefly describe our recent trip to Japan with the sister cities. As Councilor Segley and I were traveling together, we were hoping to come up with a way of highlighting some of the things that happen on these trips to gain a better transparency of what we do there, and also to highlight that this is the second year in a row that high school students have come with us, and we would like to propose somehow formalizing that as a policy that high school students come on the sister city trips and figure out a funding strategy for their future trips, because I think it's still vague as to how those how their trips are paid for. So we organized very briefly a summary of the events that we went to in Shimoda and who was attending. And just from my point of view, and also having been there now twice, the year that we brought the high school students, I think, made a tremendous difference in the amount of time and sort of cultural back and forth of what we can learn between our city and their city to strengthen our ties, not just with Shimoda, but in the whole sort of larger picture of Japan and America. And our tie with Matthew Perry with Newport, I think, is a history that we do teach here in the first grade, but I think it would be really great if everyone understood it more. So with that, I would just say that we met with the mayor's delegation. We had host families in Japan that put up our students. We were invited into the homes of Mr. and Mrs. Shinji, who taught us how to do the tea ceremony, flower arranging, calligraphy. We visited at their elementary school. We had a wreath-laying ceremony at Perry's Landing. We also visited at their high school, upon which there was a Thompson Middle School banner very broadly hung up, which was nice to see. We participated in the official Black Ship ceremony. We were able to give welcome greetings from Newport. We were in the parade, and then the students were also in the Citizens Parade. We had a history lesson on Matthew Perry, and then the farewell party. And I'll just end with that this weekend is the Black Ship Festival for when the Japanese delegation comes here to Newport. And we officially host with 4 rooms, but they are bringing a multitude more people staying in our hotels and eating in our restaurants and participating in our environment. So this back and forth exchange not only is good for history and the culture, but is an economic boom. So we did ask the 2 students to come. I don't know if they want to come up and say a few words, or they might be embarrassed. But I'll turn it over to Councilor Segley.
We this trip was such an an interesting trip because, I mean, we really are part of an official delegation, and it is an official visit. I mean, we worked really hard on this trip. I mean, we went to a lot of wreath layings and ceremonies. Naomi spoke, made a lot of speeches. I mean, this is definitely a goodwill trip, and I know that it is appreciated by our sister city. One of the things that struck me is how they actually closed down the entire city during the Black Ships Festival, and like 200,000 people come to celebrate Matthew Perry, who was a Newporter. And it's exciting that they're going to be here on the 16th, several of the people who we met, and they will see Matthew Perry from this side of the ocean. So I was really taken aback by the importance of Matthew Perry and the significance that he played in the history of Japan. So, and we can be proud to say that he's a Newporter.
Okay. I don't know if either of the students or both of you would like to come up and say anything. Not to put you on the spot, Michael. And just say your name and then whatever you want about Japan.
Hello, I'm Michael Ashby.
I'm Kaylee Palmer.
And I'd like to say how fun it was and learning all the new things and the culture and the great experiences we had with everyone and the new people that we met. And
It was an incredible opportunity and how we felt very welcomed, and so we hope that we can welcome them just as much as they welcomed us. Thank you.
I have one question. Did you sleep on the floor?
yes, I did. On a little mat. It was very comfortable though.
Okay.
Mine was elevated a little bit.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I
And
just say,
thank you for representing us.
one of the highlights of the trip, I think, for me, was watching Kaylee and Michael learn how to do Japanese calligraphy. We learned about ikebana, which is Japanese flower arranging, and it was really fun just to see them experience so many new things with us, and it was very rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Kaylee.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just want to weigh in and say that when I went to Imperia a few years ago, we also brought 2 students with us, and in my estimation, that was the most important thing we did. It's laying the foundation for a future relationship between our sister cities and Newport. Councilor Neville has alluded to it. There is a certain amount of uncertainty about the funding of these things, and I think we need to work to identifying a funding stream and committing ourselves to doing this. To be quite blunt, if we didn't send adults and we just send kids, that would be better. So I really think we need to get the kids into the program and make sure that they go on all of our sister city trips. They're the future of the relationships.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 2.56 entitled Boards and Commissions.
Yes, this is an amendment to remove the Building Code of Appeals, second reading. I move passage.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 2.60 entitled Building Code of Appeals.
Again, this is an ordinance to delete the section in its entirety. I move passage.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Discussion.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Counselor.
I would like those who are watching this and listening to understand that the city did this with the ultimate goal of saving Newport residents about 15% on their national flood insurance. And this was one of the issues that prevented us from getting that quite substantial discount, I believe.
It moves our application
Forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I had forgotten that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Second reading of an ordinance amending Title V, Business Licenses and Regulations to add Chapter 5.98 entitled Sidewalk Cafes.
This is the second reading. I move passage.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes
Nay.
have it.
I voted against that one.
I'm sorry. That's 5-2. 5-2.
Action number 5416.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
In November 2014, the city accepted the Strategic Prevention Framework Partnership for Success Grant from the Rhode Island Department of Behavioral Health in the amount of $750,000 for the period of July 1st, 2014 to June 30th, 2018. In connection with that, and at the request of the task force, actual contracts were approved with Benjamin Elcombe as grant coordinator and Lauren DeSantis as grant manager for the period ending June 30th, 2015. Therefore, the task force is recommending approval of these two contracts in connection with the administration of the grant for the period of July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016. For a contract with Benjamin G. Elcombe as grant coordinator for the Partnership for Success Grant and in the amount not to exceed $24,960. Additionally, a contract with Lauren DeSantis as grant manager for the Partnership for Success Grant in the amount not to exceed $43,680. Madam Chair, there is no fiscal impact as funding shall be from various state and federal substance abuse prevention grants. Therefore, I move approval of accompanying council resolution.
Second. Motion and second. All in favor? Any discussion? I'm sorry. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Action number 5417.
Yes, Madam Chair, the Police Department recommends that the City of Newport approve an application to the U.S. Department of Justice for the 2015 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant, or JAG Grant, in the amount of $20,837 for the use in the Police Department's 2015 citywide Directed Enforcement Program. Madam Chair, this program will be funded through the grant. There is no match requirement, and the department will not use any city budgeted funds. Therefore, there is no fiscal impact, and I move approval of accompanying council resolution.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Councilor
just a
Leonard.
quick question. Is there any future commitment at the end of this grant period? No? Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Action number 5418.
Madam Chair, the City Administration recommends the use of funds from the city's Urban Development Action Grant, or UDAG, in the amount of $1,674,984.00 as a required local match to the U.S. Department of Commerce, EDA, Public Works, and Economic Justice Assistance Programs direct grant for the redevelopment of the former Sheffield School as a technology accelerator. The amount is currently budgeted under UDAG funds account. I move approval with accompanying council resolution.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Councilor Neville.
There's also been a discussion possibly about using UDAG money for the purchase of the Navy Hospital, but I believe you have other plans for that. I just want to make sure that we have money for both projects.
Well, in my mind, this, sorry, the short answer is yes. To your question is we have other resources that we had been anticipating for some time to be used for the acquisition of the Naval Hospital property. This UDAG money, at least as far back as I believe 2013, reiterated in 2014, has been targeted for the matching grant for Sheffield School. The original amount, if you look at your package, was that you had approved was $1.6 million. It was later amended through a letter that I wrote in, I believe, August of 14 for $1,615,000. Commerce Department came back and awarded us $1,674,000, offering us additional funds, obviously. So the idea, and so the matter has sat there for a while, but we're ready to move forward with the project and to spend the money, I guess, so to speak. So the Finance Department has requested the authorization from the council to move forward, to start to encumber those funds and move forward, encumber those matching funds and move forward with the project that's anticipated. I think the architectural design is anticipated being finished in September and construction commencing soon thereafter. We also have some other planned meetings coming up just to talk about the project and potential tenants and things of that nature that I'll all be able to disclose to you soon enough.
Okay, thank you.
Madam
Any
Chair,
other? Yes, Counselor?
I have a couple of questions about the UDAG process. Is UDAG money accounted in our annual financial report? Can I find an accounting of, how much, when it says here there's enough money in there to fund this, like how much money is left?
I'm going to say not much, but I'm going to tell you that Laura is going to probably give you a better idea. I think after we, match this, that there's potentially $350,000 left in the UDAG fund. Am I correct?
The question was, is it in the CAFR?
Yes.
So I can find it there. UDAG
Laura,
money.
can you come to the mic, please, and identify your position?
that far away.
Thank you.
I'm Laura Citrin, Director of Finance.
And the answer to the question was yes. UDAG money, I thought, was sort of a revolving fund, where you give it out and you get it back. It's one of the first things I did on the council was to vote to authorize for UDAG money to be used to buy the Connell Highway property. But here we're going to spend this money, and there's really no potential for us to getting it back. I would like, to ask, as part of the process here tonight, that administration provide to the council a little bit of a history on our use of UDAG money. Where does it gone? How much of it is out there that we could still anticipate getting back for one reason or another? Frankly, it's a little bit of a mystery, and I'd like to take some of the mystery away from it.
I'm going to answer with the administration. That's an excellent point, because I'll answer for the administration. That's an excellent question, an excellent point, and I have had peripheral conversations with some of you about the nature of the UDAG and some of the funds that are out there. So I think we would more than welcome the opportunity to provide to you a little bit of a history about the UDAG, as well as where we stand with some of the, I'm going to call them some of the revolving obligations. So I think we can turn that around pretty quickly.
Am I correct in understanding that, UDAG money actually dates back to Jimmy Carter's administration, and that actually hasn't been any new UDAG money since then?
I don't know, but I know what dates does. I can answer the question.
It's a revolving fund that's
dating
gone
back.
on for
It
a
date
long
back
time.
that far. Yeah.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Counselor.
Isn't it true, at least I think it is, I remember years back that we would get a list of all the UDAG loans that were out and what the payment was and what the balance was. And if I remember right, a lot of the money was never paid back. Was that true?
I know that the council in the past years, and your memory is probably better than mine, but the members of the council had asked for a listing of UDAG obligations, as well as where monies were forwarded, and we'll do the same thing here.
Yeah,
I don't think that's occurred for a while, but I think it's a good exercise to go through.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair, because I've been doing some consulting IT work with Sheffield, I'm going to recuse from the vote.
Okay. We ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Action number 5419.
Madam Chair, the ITC recommends that Chapter 10-24 of the City of Newport's codified ordinances be amended as follows. Under Chapter 1024-010, parking prohibited at all times in designated places, the ITC recommends deletion of Jeffrey Road South Side, Ocean Avenue to Alpine Drive, and the addition of Jeffrey Road either side, Ocean Avenue to Carroll Avenue. There's no fiscal impact. I move for council approval of accompanying
There's
ordinance.
motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Action number 5420.
Madam Chair, the Department of Public Services recommends approval of a contract award for fleet management and maintenance services, bid number 15-049, to First Vehicle Services Incorporated, inclusive of an annual target cost of $650,700.26 for the first 2 years of the contract, plus additional emergency and directed work billed at the rate of $52 per hour. The contract price represents an approximate $70,000 in annual cost savings. Also, the contract will span a period of 6 years with 2 possible 2-year extensions. The amount is currently budgeted. I move approval of accompanying council resolution.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Councilor Leonard.
I looked at this and I could not believe how much it costs us to maintain our vehicles. We're talking $650,700 for 2 years. And my personal feeling is that a contract that goes for so many years, until I think it's 2018, is quite a bit. Is this part of that bid process with what we do with the other municipalities?
I'll let Bill explain it, but it is part of the bid process.
Director Ricchio,
I'd like to sit in the back, so
can you jump over the tables?
you're thinking about the master price list. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, is this like the master price list?
No, this was a brand-new bid that we put together after attempting to negotiate a contract extension with the vendor. So we went out with a new bid, and before I got here, and the original bid was put out, there was 2 bidders back then, and we got 2 bidders this time. The prices came in $70,000, less than we're paying now, and this services the entire fleet owned by the city, from aerial trucks, fire trucks, rescue vehicles, all police equipment, all heavy apparatus such as like the tree bucket truck, to all of the front-end loaders, to the backhoes, to regular passenger vehicles used by police and other departments.
This company's from Ohio. Do they have a local place that they work on these vehicles?
They work out of the city yard garages. So part of the bid is we provide the space and they come in and provide all the labor.
Is that why we're looking to build a new building?
Is that why we're looking to build a new building?
Yeah, wasn't that part of the big plan, to make the city yard and put a new building in there?
This is one of the field trips we're going on to look at Bill's office and the
utilities department.
And the utilities department and the available space that they're.
Well, I'm just saying, for a cheap taxpayer that I am, I mean, I pay a lot of taxes, but for $350,000 a year for somebody to service vehicles, I always question if we're going to provide the building to do it. It kind of gives me a headache.
Well, I just asked, let's just talk about pieces of equipment.
No, I know, I heard it.
There's 180 pieces of equipment, so that's a lot of equipment.
It's not just passenger cars. We're talking about.
It's payloader, but it's a little dinky thing for the lawn even and stuff like that. That's still a lot of money. Was the other bidder from the island, local, or?
No, the other bidder was a company out of North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina.
I mean, we can't get, it's so crazy in my head that we can't get a local company to bid on fixing vehicles, and we got to depend on Ohio and Carolina. and then provide them the building to work on it. It just flabbergasts me. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Oh, 6-1.
Opposed?
6-1.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn as council and convene as Board of License Commissioners.
Second.
There's a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Public hearing, application of JH Enterprises, Inc., DBA Perry Mill Tavern and Perry Mill Music Hall to transfer its Class BT alcoholic beverage license to Surf Club LLC.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address this issue?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to close the public hearing and approve the transfer subject to the payment of all bills of indebtedness.
Second. There's a motion and a second to approve pending paying all bills of indebtedness. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn as Board of License Commissioners and convene an executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law, Section 4246-1 is amended, and Section 4246-5, purposes for which meetings may be closed. The council will discuss in executive session issues relating to the financing of Clark School Apartments.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting closed.